What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awaken TCG, and today, as you can see by what's on the screen and by the title of this video, we're talking about the best deck in format and the total top 8s that we've had since the start of this set, OP06. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, I curated all these numbers using the Eggman Events website. I went through and clicked every single event. I grabbed all the data points, put them on a spreadsheet, made this graph. And so now we can kind of see visually what is consistent and what really isn't. So mind you, one tournament has 8 tops. I think this is about 16 total tournaments since the start of OP06, which includes all the English regions that use the English cards, I believe. So Mexico regions, EU regions. It should be every single event that's at a regional level, including the 2 test events that we've had. So this is what we have. We have Sakazuki at the top of the food chain with 43 top 8s, which honestly isn't surprising. So at the start of this set, we knew coming off of OP05, this deck was still the best, and it didn't change. We kind of see what the East does. It did not change at all. For OP06, Sakazuki is still the best deck in format by a lot. So as you can see from the next leader down, Gecko is at 36, which is a drop off of about 7 tops. Which, if you think about it, there's one tournament, there's 8 top 8s, right? Obviously. So that basically means there's a whole tournament that was all Saka tops that Gecko did not participate in, because it is 7 different tops right there. 43 Saka, Gecko on 36. But Gecko on 36 is still very consistent. I would consider these two the top tier 1. Sakazuki being slightly above, Gecko being right below it. Just consistency wise, Sakazuki has that leader effect that you just can't overlook. The cycle every single turn, the strong ACOS Gecko turns that you can have on that leader it's insane. And so Gecko on 36, definitely not a surprise either, because in the East there was a lot of Geckos topping, maybe even more than Saka, just never winning an event. It would always show up. It would just never win an event over there. Over here, our first event, it won it, I think. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but I just looked at the data points. There was actually 5 Gecko Morias that topped the very first event that we had in Santa Clara. So it definitely started off strong, and then it slowly waned off. There was like a little yellow scare in the beginning, or towards the middle. People thought, Kata's just better, right? 2 back-to-back wins, but clearly not the case. And I said it over and over. A little bit of propaganda with Yellow, me saying it's the best deck in the format and stuff like that, but that's just jokes. It is, although, the 3rd best deck, right? Let's go ahead and get into how many Kata tops that we've seen. There is 25, a couple of wins, a few wins, but we're only looking at the top 8s here. So Kata has 25 top 8s, so that is about 11 less than Gecko. So even worse. So I think from Saka to Gecko, there's this small margin, right? This small margin of difference in deck strength. And then from Gecko to Kata, there's a slightly bigger margin, I think, in my opinion. The deck has the ability to high roll and win tournaments, but it does not have the ability to be consistent, right? You can probably see your curve, but when it comes down to it, you need to see consistency in triggers and at the right time. If you do not see, those triggers that you need in certain matchups, you are cooked. Like, there's no other way to put it. You have to see certain triggers against certain matchups, and not to mention the Kiku Nojos. If you get those Kiku Nojos off, it is a world of hurt for anything other than Sakazuki, which Saka can just bottom deck them. So I think those 3 are the big 3, with Saka and Gecko taking that tier 1 spot, Kata being right below it, probably still in tier 1, tier 1.5, but just right below it, just because of the fact that it's not as consistent as these other 2 top decks. So personally, those 3 are the big 3. Usually there's always a big 3. This is the big 3 for this set, and you guys can clearly see from this pie chart and from the numbers here that I have on the screen, it is pretty absurd. So next up, we have Reiju and Whitebeard, both on 7 tops. So not even enough to fill up one whole tournament, just under that. It goes to show you that drop off from 25 on Kata down to 7, which is the next leader up, is about, let me do some quick math here, 18, right? So that's a lot, you know, like 18 tops is the difference between Kata and the next leader, which is, you know, a massive amount. It honestly is. That's why, as you guys can see right above me, I have Saka is the best deck in format. If you're playing any deck but the big three, you're griefing in the tournament. You know, if you want to top. So if you want top 8 at a tournament, what you need to do, play the big three. You know, it is, and you know, friendly disclaimer, this is not for casuals. If you're a casual looking at this video right now, this probably has nothing to do with you. This is coming from the perspective of, let's get these serials. Let's perform in tournaments. What gives you the best chance, right? If you're playing locals, you play casually with your buddies for fun. You can play whatever you want. I just don't want to get any flack in the comments. This video here is, you know, just looking at the numbers. We're looking at what's happening at the highest tier of tournaments in this game, right? Which is the regionals. So if you're not playing Saka, if you're not playing Gecko, if you're not playing Kata, you are griefing in the tournament. Obviously, yeah, you can top with Reiju, Whitebeard, as you can see, Yamato. You can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying you have to work extremely hard, and probably 2-3 times as harder as if you were playing the big three, right? So why would you put yourself through that? You could probably get twice the amount of results by switching and playing a big three deck. And I'm not saying that just because I think that. I'm saying it because that's what the numbers are saying, right? How many, like, that's, divide 43 by 7. I'm not going to do the quick math. That's a little too much for me. But how many times is that more, right? That's like 4 or 5 times. Not even. That's like 6 times the amount of tops, right? So it's like, why would you put yourself in a position where, if you want to compete at the highest level and you want to perform, why are you, you know, putting yourself at this disadvantage from the jump? Obviously, playstyle comes into factor. You know, you have this playstyle, you want to play this deck, this and that. The great players can adjust their playstyles. The greatest players can adjust their playstyles. It is not about whether or not you mesh with the deck. Is, can you learn it? Can you play it effectively? Whether you think it's boring or not does not determine, you know, your placement, right? What determines your placement is playing the best decks and performing on it. So if you can just do those 2 things, if you can pick the best deck and play it and perform on it, you're going to have some success. And that's just what card games are. So any Saka haters, I am sorry to inform you, EBO1 is just as good for Sakazuki, if not better, in my opinion. So you guys will see me on that deck. If you guys get bored of the Saka play, luckily it's only a month and a half, 2 months, month and a half before OP07, and then we won't be on Saka because it's going to be banned. So just bear with me here. It's going to go by quick, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Fun month and a half. So let's continue here. We had Reiju and Whitebeard with 7. We have Yamato with 6, which is the next best. Only one under Whitebeard and Reiju. Yamato being a great deck again. I mean, I'm going to say the same thing. You know, why are you going to put yourself in that position? Yamato is a great deck, but it just does not have the success that a great deck would have. And so, as you can see, last weekend, not to put Cross on blast or anything, Cross AI played Yamato at the test event in Florida in Oviedo, and he lost back-to-back rounds. And okay, to be fair, he did break one of those games, and he played 2 Yamato mirrors, which really sucks. But you got to expect that, right? You lose dice roll in the Yamato mirror. Okay, they're going to go first. They're going to swing 8. They're going to swing 10. Can you rebuttal? It's kind of hard. It is definitely extremely difficult to try to rebuttal that. But at the end of the day, it's like you're not playing a deck that warrants you to have the most success. So if you're going into it expecting a top 8, but you're playing Yamato, you know, you have the wrong mindset. Obviously, try your best, but when it comes to performing and actually seeing results, you got to see, you got to play the top 3, and that's how it is, and it's how it's always been. I have I'm the exception, right? And there's a couple other people that are exceptions that have actually placed with tier 2 decks, like obviously these couple people here, right? But like I won a regional off of a tier 2 deck. I say tier 2, people say tier 1.5, but I won with green purple Dofi in set 4 before the red band. So I at that point I would have considered it a tier 2 deck, but that's for another video. And then the rest, we have 2 NL, 1 Nami, 1 RP Lasso. Definitely impressive with the RP Law and the Nami, because RP Law just gets destroyed by some decks here, except Katakuri. But that top is pretty impressive. And then we have two Anels. Anel being, you know, kind of the punching bag of this set, just didn't really get any improvements. And while the rest of the meta got better with ACOS Moria, Anel does not really have an answer to that. So that's why we just didn't see it present in this meta. But for the most part, this is where we're at. This is all the top 8s from Santa Clara first event to now this last weekend in Florida. So I, you know, got up, rounded up all the numbers. This is where we're currently at. We have about 1 week. Yeah, 1 week, I think, and not even a week anymore. I think Mexico, the next regional, May 4th, has allowed EB. So at this point, we're not going to see any more OP06 tournaments. And from here on out, we're going to be only seeing EB01. Are these numbers going to change at all? Yeah, I think the RP Law number is going to go up a bit. Katakuri is going to go down a bit. Reiju is going to be non-existent because of RP Law. So as we see RP Law, you know, rise up in the tier, deck tiers, we're going to see less Kata and less Reiju, because those are two matchups that RP Law just destroys. We're going to see less Yamato, less Whitebeard in my opinion, a slightly smaller amount of Geckos. The biggest change is going to be a lot more Sakazukis in my opinion. I think this is the format to play it, and that's why I am on it as well. I have a lot to learn on it, but I'm very excited for the EB meta. It's going to be a quick, short 1.5, 2 months. And then we get OP07, which is really going to shake up the whole meta with the bans. And that's going to be a whole new set, basically a whole new set. It's only a half set, so it's really not too much new things, but really excited. And I hope you guys enjoyed this graphic and me yap for 10 minutes. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I should have the stream up and going sometime at the end of this weekend for the giveaway. Our boxes are getting shipped tomorrow, so hopefully they get here by Friday. If not, we might have to postpone it, but they are coming. Those are secured. What else? Subscribe to my Patreon. I got a video coming out soon with another top content creator / player for a best of 3 set, and I think it might be even wager. We'll see. I wager, you know, these top players and they just steal my money, but it's fun. Anyways, maybe that's how you have to play. That's what you have to do to play them, right? You got to give them money. Yeah, I appreciate it. Big things coming. Just offline tournaments for me. I'm gonna try to keep being consistent competitively and still giving you guys great content. And we have a Jeopardy coming soon, so that's gonna be exciting. A lot of treasure cups this weekend. Moria in May, so May 24th. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video. Comment down below what you think about these numbers, and do you think they're gonna change in EB01? Subscribe to our channel, because I am going broke traveling now and doing these kind of giveaways. So really subscribe and watch our ads. I need some money. I'm going to lose my house. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.